Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you, wherever you are tuning in from. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We are still in our inclusive classroom series, and our episode today, or our session today, is Amplifying Every Student Voice. And if you haven't been with us before, my name is Teresa Castro.
And I am Ricardo Recinos.
And we are both technology TOSAs from Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And we're so excited about our topic today. So we're going to tell you a little bit about it. So our objective today is to discover ways students can improve speaking skills regardless of level, language, or disability. Explore online tools that provide an inclusive experience for every student. So our purpose is to discover tools that ensure that every student voice is heard. So here are some tools that we're going to be going over today. Presenter Coach, Reading Progress, FlipGrid, Voice Recording, Adobe Spark, Screencastomatic, Canvas Studio, and assignments. So much that we're going to cover today. I'm exhausted already. Okay, so let's go over our non-purpose. We don't expect you to throw out what you've been doing. We know you've been doing amazing things, and please don't feel limited to what is shared today. But before we move on to the next slide, Ricardo, I just wanted to clarify. You saw all of the resources we're going to go over today. I know some of you have seen us go over these things before, and you're going to still see us go over them in the future, but we're going to be putting on a different lens today. So we're putting on the lens of speaking, practicing speaking skills, and helping our students overcome any challenges they might have in speaking. So as we go through these tools, we're really going to stay focused into the speaking portion. So just letting you know that we're not repeating everything we did before, but we're kind of just putting on a different focus. So
Got it. I was going to say that, yes, as a Spanish teacher, right? One of the hardest things to do is to get our students to speak. When we talk about practicing the four modes of communication, the listening comes naturally, the writing, the reading, but always getting those words out and speaking is the hard one. So I think using some of these tools, not just for our English language learners or for a student that is going to maybe present, but for those learners of a different language, great tools.
Absolutely. And it's not just for those language learners, it's for everyone in general, right? So let's talk about our whys here. We want to help students improve speaking skills, like what we mentioned. We want to overcome barriers, and whether it's level, language, any challenges, maybe you have some speaking challenges that they have. Of course, it's engaging. We want to keep them engaged, right? We want to meet the students where they are. We want to tap into their digital skills, because we're going to be sharing tech resources today, of course. And of course, we want them to have fun. So we love the quote on the left. It says, "Don't let your voice sound like all the other noises today. Be loud, be clear, and make a difference." And that's really what we want to inspire our kids to do, right? To be wonderful speakers, but not just for themselves, but for the world, so that their voices can be heard and they can make a difference. And Ricardo did mention reasons why we want to make sure our students can speak well. But we were talking about this earlier as we were planning our session. We were talking about how one of the biggest fears that people have is what, Ricardo?
Public speaking. I know that's always been for me as a English language learner. That was always, it's always in my head, right? Am I pronouncing things right? Am I, speaking correctly? So I know, and it's not just me. Can you imagine, our students, right? I was reading a statistic a little while ago, and that said that 10.2% or 5 million students are English language learners in the U.S. And think about that student that now is trying to speak in that new language to them, right? And trying to present in that language. But just all of us, if it's terrifying for them, can you imagine? If it's terrifying for us, can you imagine for that particular student, right? Or for me in that case, yeah.
Right. And if you ask the general public, what's one of their greatest fears in life, a lot of people will actually say public speaking. It's comical, but it's kind of, it puts things into perspective. So we need to teach everyone, all students, all different levels, different strategies to help them improve in public speaking, because it's so important for them to be able to get their message across, right? So this is a fun graphic on the right, a fear of public speaking. What is it called, Ricardo? What is that called?
Are you really going to make me say it?
Yeah.
Is it glossophobia?
That's good enough for me. I like it. So that's the fear of public speaking. So 74% of people suffer from speech anxiety. And I'm sure that number changes all the time. But hopefully, as we're teaching students now to become more and more confident in their speaking, that this number goes down. We'll see, hopefully. So anyways, We can keep going, Ricardo, if
Oh
you
no, I
want.
was just wow. I was this reminding me of Jerry Seinfeld, right? But this is public speaking is the greatest fear that people have, even greater than spiders and death itself. Wow.
Which is true. A lot of people, when they have the list of fears, public speaking is actually higher than the fear of death, which is fascinating and pretty eye-opening. So
Yeah.
hopefully our session is useful to all, not just in education, but in the world, right? Because public speaking is so important. All right, so here are some things that we're going to go over. We're just going to briefly go over them via slide right now, so you have a snippet of what we're going to do, a little taste, I guess, and then we're actually going to take you into the actual tool. So we're going to go over Presenter Coach, which is in PowerPoint, and it uses artificial intelligence to listen and watch you present, and it actually gives you feedback.
And if you have never seen this, you're in for a treat. It is
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing.
It is, yeah, wow. Okay, so well, we're going to skip this one because it's going to help me later when I do it. And another one we're going to do is reading progress. Ricardo, you want to talk about that one a bit?
Yeah, we covered reading progress when we were talking about the inclusive classroom and tools for reading, such as immersive reader and reading progress. But we're going to see it from a different lens. We're going to see how we can use this tool for our students to practice public speaking, or to practice reading, or to listen to themselves and see the body language and see how they read something or how they speak.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so FlipGrid, we've done FlipGrid, and we're going to do it again, I'm sure, but we want to take it from the lens of using these tools to improve speaking, right? So we're going to be studying FlipGrid today.
Yes, one of our favorite tools.
Yes. And the world's. We're also going to touch on Adobe Spark, which helps us edit videos. It's free and it's super easy for the kids to use. And we know we usually use it for video, but of course there's the speaking aspect too that we want to go over.
And some people don't know that Adobe Spark has that particular feature. They think, graphics, and they think like the little websites that you can create, but also the video component is huge.
Right. Okay, some just general voice tools that you might not even know exist. Like on your computer, you probably have a built-in voice recorder in there. We also have our dictation in Google or in Microsoft. And also, Ricardo just discovered this awesome thing in Google that tells you how to pronounce things, and it records you as well. Anyways, we're going to show you that in a moment. So we're going to go with that.
And because of our time, we don't have time to cover other tools. I mean, there's so many things that we could do, right? There's samples to do podcasts and online free podcast apps that you can use, even your phone to record yourself. But we're going to be able to cover, a lot of the stuff today, but not everything.
Right. All right, so we're also going to go over, there are a lot of other tools where you can capture your screen or take a video of yourself, and one of them is Screencastomatic. So we're going to go over that today because it ties in with our LMS that we use for our district. So we're going to talk about that a little bit to record. All right, so first thing we're going to go over is Presenter Coach, and this is one of my favorite ones. So I fought Ricardo for this, and I get to do it. So I win, yay! But of course, he could interject at any time, as usual. So we are in PowerPoint right now, PowerPoint Online, and if you go to Slideshow and Rehearse with Coach, you click on the little the arrow going down, the little caret, and it gives you some options here. I'm actually going to turn off body language right now. I promise to show it to you because it's new and it's amazing. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to explain it in a moment. Okay. You can also go to settings. If this doesn't appear for you, don't worry, it'll still work, but sometimes it disappears. Just a little warning to you. All right. So for delivery, you can choose what you want it to give you feedback on. Okay. So your pace, like how quickly, maybe you're talking too fast, too slow. So I have that on. Filler words, if I'm saying a lot of things like and like, those are things. Pitch, when you speak, you want to vary your pitch. If you sound really monotone, it can catch you on that as well. Pronunciation as well. If you want it to check for pronunciation. Your content, is your content original? Are you reading straight from the slide? Are you being inclusive in the way that you speak? Are you saying things that might, might not be inclusive to your audience, right? Speech refinements, repetitive language, if you say things over and over. Audio engagement, which is the body language. I have that again. You saw me turn it off earlier, and I'll turn it back on in a moment, but I just want to make sure that you see how all of these work. Excuse me. And then we'll turn that back on in a moment. So let me move this closer to me. Sometimes my mic doesn't pick it up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start Presenter Coach with just those settings. So I'm going to close this, and I'm just going to click right here, Rehearse with Coach, and then let's see what happens. So right now I wait patiently, and I have a few things working on my computer right now, so it might take a while. Oh, that was really quick. All right, so down at the bottom right, you could see it's telling me what it is. I can start rehearsing. So just picture me as a student practicing on my own. Or let's say you're presenting for something for work. You can practice on your own at home and get feedback you need without having to bribe someone to listen to you practice your speeches, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start rehearsing, but down here, show real-time feedback. That means as I'm speaking, it'll actually give me advice as I'm speaking. If that distracts you, you could turn that off and just look at the data later, but we're going to keep it on right now just so that you can see. So I'm just going to start recording. So I'm going to start talking, and it's going to show me my feedback right there. So, and right here, objective and discover ways students can improve speaking skills regardless of level, language, or disability. Explore online tools that provide an inclusive experience for every student. And at this point, see, it's telling me try speaking a bit slower because I'm talking too fast. So as I'm going through it, it's giving me advice so I can kind of correct my ways as I am. And I may have mispronounced essential. Oh, now I'm using too many times. So you see, it could be distracting. So if you want to turn that off, you can. But it's great because as I'm practicing, I can see that all the mistakes I'm making and I'm fixing it. So you can see I'm doing this on purpose, by the way, so that it picks it up. You know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop. I think you get the gist of it. Ricardo, is there anything else you want me to demonstrate here?
No, I was going to say that this will be a tool that our students will use before they're actually doing their presentation, right? So it's okay that it's turned on, and it's okay that it's interrupting them because they're actually seeing and getting that feedback in real time, so they can actually go back and correct those mistakes.
Right. And so it's great. Even the pitch and everything, like it gets, I know it tells me all the time, which is actually what I really do, but you should practice not to do that. So this is such a great resource. All the stuff's coming up now, Ricardo. Okay, so I'm going to go back now. I'm actually going to stop it right now, and I'm going to go back and show you the body language portion that you could do all simultaneously, but for the sake of our demonstration, I just wanted to show this to you first. Okay, so I'm just going to escape. I'm just going to stop for now. I'm going to pause. I'm going to escape. And here it is. Look at this amazing report right here. So I talked for about 2 minutes. I only did 2 slides. I'm working. I talked 145 words per minute. My pace was pretty good, which is great. And then my average pace over time. So it shows you like where I was really in a hurry and where I wasn't. My pitch was okay for the most part. Low pitch variation will make your audience lose interest. Try increasing tone for your key points. So I would practice like changing my pitch as I am presenting. Fillers right here. It actually tells me what I use. And part of improving yourself is to know what mistakes you're making, right? So that's a big deal. If I just hired one of my friends to listen to me, they probably wouldn't catch most of these things, right? Okay, here. So for repetitive language, it also tells you some words that you might use too much, and it gives you a suggestion on what words you can use instead. So even though you're trying to say great, like I did like 20 times, I could use excellent or immense. So it also suggests things to you, which is great. So inclusive, great job. Use of inclusive language was excellent. Sometimes if you use things like you guys and things like that, it'll pick that up and saying, you know what, no, you can't, don't say you guys because you're excluding some people when you say that. So those are some things that it might pick up. So pronunciation, wow, it found a word that I probably said wrong, which is essential. And then you can actually practice with it, which is amazing. Did you know that, Ricardo?
I did.
You did?
The
Of
great
course you
thing
did.
about presenters coaches that they're always adding new features, as you're going to show the body language in a second, which wasn't there during summer.
And this originality. So if I was going through a slide with more text on it, if I was reading it word for word, it would tell me here not to read word for word. And it would actually tell me the slides too that I should work on. Can you think of the possibilities? Look at all of this. And I didn't have anyone help me. I was just doing it right here on my screen. Okay, so I'm going to rehearse again. But I'm actually going to turn on body language. So this is new. This is amazing. So now we're taking it past just speaking, but actual body language is actually going to watch my body and see if I'm doing what I should be doing as I speak to people or speak publicly, right? So I'm going to turn that on, and I'm just going to, I promise I'm almost done. We're just going to focus on the body part right now. So we're going to wait for it to start. So here we are again, just where we were earlier. We can start rehearsing, but I have body language turned on. So I'm going to cross my fingers it works because I have so many cameras on right now. Oh, here we are. So I'm looking at another camera. Let me just move my mic out of the way since we're focusing on camera. And you could see it's telling me right there. It says move closer to the screen. So if I was presenting this maybe online or something, it tells me to move closer. Oh, good placement. Awesome. And so it actually sees so much. So let's pretend I'm looking somewhere else. It says try not to move closer to the screen. Oh, I'm too far again. Is that good? Oh, here we go. Face the camera to show engagement with your audience. So those are things that it picks up. It tells me to use eye contact. It tells me to move closer, especially if I'm doing this, maybe an online, like via Zoom or something like that. And it's also correcting my verbals like earlier. So, so just imagine this great opportunity for your students to be able to practice their speaking. And that is very distracting, but very useful for the kids. So I'm going to stop right now to show you what that looks like in data. So let me stop. Here we go. So again, this is familiar like earlier, but now we have the body language down here. So eye contact, keep your gaze forward. Clear view, you kept the view of your face clear. Good. Distance, keep consistent. So I can click on this and it actually shows me what my mistakes were. So here's a shot of me facing away and here's a shot of me facing the right way. And then distance, here's me being too far and here's me being good. This is amazing. My mind is still blown as always. They're always adding new great features and I love that one. So did I miss anything there, Ricardo?
No, I think it also will send you an email with those statistics after you are done. So that's a great. So for you to have a copy of it and for you to be able to go back and see what you did right or what you did wrong. So it's pretty amazing that it will send you that feedback.
Amazing. So again, that was presenter coach. So verbal and also visual in your speaking. So so yeah, I think we're moving on now to something else. We're going to be moving on to reading progress, which Ricardo is going to take us through.
So we introduced reading progress a couple of episodes ago, but today we want to show it to you in the way of how it will help our students speak. So reading progress basically is a free tool that is built into Microsoft Teams. And for our teachers, we have found a way to be able to use it inside of Canvas. So we'll be covering that in a video eventually. And what it does, it basically it supports and tracks reading fluency. Okay, so we talk about that English language learner that maybe is practicing the language, or maybe even that student in a world language class trying to practice that language they're trying to learn. And the way it works, just to give you an example. Okay, so I'm over here in Teams. And I'm just going to create an assignment. And as I create the assignment, I'm going to have Teresa be our student today. But let's go ahead and create that. And she didn't know that. So now you can see that she's a little surprised there. But let me just go in here. I'm just in Teams, and I'm just going to create an assignment. Again, Microsoft Teams. This is free. Okay. I'm in there, and then I'm just going to give it a title. So I'm just going to call it practice or reading practice. Let's just call it that, reading practice. And then let's give it today's date, okay, to make sure that we know which assignment we're doing. And then once you set up the title, you're going to come over here and say attach. And when you go there, you have some options. And notice that you have this option that says reading progress, okay? So let's go ahead and there, just so you can see how this is set up in case you've never used it, okay? You have the ability to upload something from a Word document or a PDF, which I will do when we practice the Spanish one. But let's just do the other one right now. It also comes with a very vast library, and they keep adding different samples to this library. So let's go there. I love the fact that you can come in here and decide by grade level what you want your students to practice when it comes to speaking. So over here, I can pick, Teresa, do you have any particular preference when I do this? Should we go to secondary?
So I'm going to let you decide, Ricardo. I won't be offended.
Okay. So what I wanted you to see, though, as I'm picking a sample, notice that it does give you the Lexile level, right? It gives you the name of the passage, right? If it's fiction or nonfiction, the word count. So you have very good information to decide what you're going to use with your students and what's going to be beneficial for your students. So maybe let's go to 6th grade for this particular one, okay? And I'm just going to pick something in here. early people in Central American land. Okay, so let's just pick this one. As you pick it, you can preview. It's 815 words. It's a lot. So we're not going to do it all. I just want to kind of pick one that we're going to use. I can preview it if I want to, but I'm just going to select it. Okay, and I'm going to select it. And once I select it, I can do student view if I want to. I can come in here and see what my student is going to be reading. So again, we're practicing reading. We're practicing pronunciation maybe. We're practicing how our students are going to be doing on this particular sample right here. I have the info right here. I can give a number of attempts. I always suggest two. One for the students to try it the first time and the one to submit. I don't like to do unlimited. You can change the sensitivity when it comes to pronunciation. I'm just going to leave it as default. I think that one's pretty good, and we tried it to see. And then again, like Teresa did, this is a Microsoft tool. You can save the required video, and it's going to use the same technology that Presenters Coach uses, basically. And you're going to see it. And I do leave the required video because, again, our students can come over here. They're reading, but also they're practicing the body language. They're practicing how close they are to the microphone, how far. They can see all of that stuff if you leave the video on, okay? And let's go ahead and go next. Okay, so I'm creating that assignment. It's going to create it, and I'm just going to give it now a due date. I'm just going to give it a due date. Let's change this to the 6th, okay? And then let's go ahead. It's ready. So let's go ahead and assign. Okay, and I've assigned the this particular assignment, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like from Teresa's point of view. Teresa, are you ready?
Oh, sure. Let me find the assignment. Okay, so Ricardo surprised me with an assignment. Thank you so much. And I'm going to click on it. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Oh, let me change my camera. Why is it this one? Oh, does it matter? Oh,
no, I think that's the one you want to use, right? And as Teresa gets ready, something that I do want to mention is that Teresa does have the tools of Immersive Reader to be able to use. So think about that student that might need to focus more, or to have the font a little bit bigger, or maybe the syllabus separated. All of those tools are there, and Teresa's going to show you that right now.
So we're not only talking about public speaking, we're just talking about just speaking in general, right? Like just being able to speak the language, or just being able to speak at all. So this is such a great resource. And if you were doing public speaking, you could also assign them things that, not from that resource, right? Maybe like their speech that was actually typed up, they could actually be practicing it here, right? Anyway, sorry, going off tangent as usual. Okay, would you like me to begin?
Yes.
Okay, I have 2 tries. Yay. Okay. Oh, wait, did you want me to make mistakes on purpose?
Sure.
Okay, I just said that so in case I make mistakes, then we could pretend I did it on purpose. Okay. People have been living in Central and South America for many, many years now. How did people live in this area thousands of years ago? Archaeologists studying the area of the Central American land have been working to answer this question. Can I stop now?
That's perfect. Okay. Teresa, can you go ahead and show the Immersive Reader just so they know where it is on top?
All right, so at the very top, we can click on it, and then I can adjust, just for your different readers, your line spacing, your fonts, your colors, so much. Are we going to go over everything, or are we good with that?
No, just wanted to make sure they knew it was there.
There we go. And it's still recording. It's probably thinking I'm making a lot of mistakes right now. So I'm
go all the way to the bottom. Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot. Thanks a lot. You gave me so much homework. Okay. I'm done. And I could actually play it so I could listen to myself and see. So see, this is the power of this, right? So I could actually hear myself, and then my teacher will be able to give me feedback later based on the data that he gets, right? So I could try again. I could use this recording. Can I just use this recording, Ricardo?
That's perfectly fine. I think your suggestion was great. Obviously, I picked the reading, but the student could have used basically their speech they're going to be presenting, right? They would have provided that to the teacher. The teacher would have loaded as an assignment for that particular student, and they would have been able to use that. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to use this recording. I'm attaching it. I love the thumbnail as usual. Goodness gracious. All right. So so I'm going to turn it in. Yay.
I love those.
The small joys. Okay. Do you want to show it from your end, how it looks?
Sure. Let's see. Hopefully it came through already. I just refreshed, and let's see what we have. So I'm going to go in that particular assignment as a teacher now, and then just to see, yeah, it's there already, one-on-one turn in. So let me go in there. And what I want you to see is that Teresa turned it in. I can come over here and give feedback if I wanted to once I'm done, but let me see her attempt so you can see it, okay? So this, look at how powerful this is, okay? So obviously, I have the recording that Teresa did as she is presenting and she's reading, right? It's auto detecting how she's reading in here. It will tell you some pretty incredible inside informational data in here, right? 57 correct words per minute. It will tell you the accuracy rate, any mispronunciations, omissions, insertions, repetitions, and self corrections. And it will actually show you what Teresa did when she was actually doing those. Think about how powerful this is for that speaker that is trying to practice their speech or their presentation, and they're going to go back and see this and decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try again, or I need to work on this, or I need to work on that, and so on and so on. So just incredible um, stats and also insights in here that are going to help you. Okay. Anything else to add when it comes to that, Teresa?
I mean, just think of, after getting this data, it's just sitting down with that student, being able to talk about, I saw this was amazing. You can work on your icon, you can work on, anything, like you can work on, being repetitive when you say things over and over, maybe taking your time, slow down, and you didn't have to do anything by hand. This did it for you, and now you have this data that you could use. So of course we know when we talk to our students about speaking and public speaking and things like that, we focus on certain things. So maybe it's eye contact for this time, or maybe it's not using like and fillers like that. So just again, and I went off tangent as usual, I'm so sorry, but tools like this can really help us stay focused and teach them those tools explicitly, those skills, right? So it's
yes.
amazing.
I when we showed this last time in another session, I had a lot of world language teachers, and they asked, "Can we use it in our class? Can we use it for that student that is trying to learn Spanish or learn Chinese or learn whatever language it is?" And actually, you could. So, what would you want to do is you actually would want to create a Word document in the language that you are going to practice, in the target language. And I have something here on El Dia de los Muertos. Before I showed you, just to make sure that for it to work and auto-detect the language, you have to do a couple of things, okay? So you have to make sure that auto-detect and reading progress is using the intended language that you are going to use with your students. So that's very simple to do, okay? It supports so many languages. Just to give you an idea, I mean, you can use it for so many things. So all you have to do basically is go to the document, which is what I did. Okay, go to review, go to our famous editor that we talked about last week, which is amazing, and just make sure that the set proofing language is set to the correct language, which in this case is Spanish. Okay, and you say, okay, if you don't do this, it's not going to recognize the language when you put it on reading progress. So I've done it already. Okay, so now that I've done that, just to show you, I can come in here and I could create another assignment. Let's just do that quick. So let me go ahead and go back.
You're not making me do another assignment, are
Let's
you?
go in here and let's go ahead and see how Teresa's Spanish has improved since we've been working together on this. So let's go ahead and go. And we're going to go into our Spanish assignment. Okay. And let's go ahead and do the same thing we did, attach. Okay. And now we're going to go to reading progress. Okay. And then I'm going to upload a Word or a PDF. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just download the copy just so we have it available. So let me just put it on my desktop. Okay. Okay, so it should be on my desktop, hopefully now, to my download. So let's go ahead and go to reading progress. Let's upload. So let's go ahead and find it. And I think I put it on my downloads. So here it is. Let's go ahead and take it. Let's open. Okay, so here it is. Everything is set. As I told you before, I like to do 2 tries. Okay, we are ready. So let's go ahead and go next. Let's give it a due date. So let's wait. Let's put it in there. Okay, and let's give it a due date now. Okay, and let's assign. And it's going to come in here, and it's right here. And Teresa, would you like to do it? Would you like me to do it? I would love to see the data.
I'll do it just so that you have good data. Because if you
Okay.
do it, then it would be too perfect. It's
So
fine.
here it goes. So if you refresh, it should be there. It's called Spanish assignment.
Okay.
There it
Spanish
is.
assignment. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure how I feel right now, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna go for it.
And think about that's how our student will feel, right? That foreign language student or the world language learner that is scared to speak, and that will be the same reaction that student probably will be having right now.
So I've probably not read Spanish since high school, so this is gonna be really authentic right now. Did you at least pick first grade and second grade or something for me? Like, oh my goodness. El Día de los Muertos. ¿Qué decir del Día de los Muertos en América Latina? It's a question. Para empezar, es toda una fiesta llena de colores y motivos alegres. Oh, I'm supposed to make mistakes, huh? Que se a la muerte, pero a la muerte desde otra perspectiva. Perspectiva. Can I stop there now?
That's perfect.
Can you say that word for me? Because it's going to bother me.
Perspectiva. You said
Yeah.
it right.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay. I'm sweating right now.
So let's go ahead and submit
So I'm
it.
going to go ahead and submit it. You know what? I wonder what happens when I'm speaking English during. Does it catch something like that?
We'll see it.
We'll see. I'm going to use this recording, laughing at myself as usual.
Think about what a great tool, though, for that world language classroom to practice the language. Just incredible.
So now I want to do it again to redeem myself.
Go ahead and turn it in.
Ricardo said no. That's not the point of this presentation. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's see what happens.
So let's go ahead and
how amazing did I do?
Let's go to my screen and let's go ahead and look at how Teresa did. So it's over here. Notice how fast it's already there. Okay.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and click on it. And notice that it's going to give us, again, some great data again, right? It's going to give us the correct words per minute, the accuracy, and so on and so on. And you'll be able to see Teresa's accent, right? Just kind of like mine in English, right? How she did as she was reading, and she did very, very well. Of course,
I didn't read any of those, just so you know. I
she
skipped
didn't
all
read
of that.
490, but you can see over here. No, you did read this part. I think you got up to perspectiva, right? Around here.
Anyways, you may continue.
Okay. Anyways, you get the idea. So what a great tool for our students to be able to practice not just English, but also another language. Okay.
Wow. Now that I'm kind of still in shock right now, but I think are you done with this? Are you ready to move on?
I am. Yes, I am.
All right. So good thing I'm not on next because
would
I'm
you
still
like
trying
me to
recover.
give you an assignment in Mandarin? Maybe should we go to that so we can see how that works?
How about you do that one and let's see what happens. I'm gonna put one in Tagalog and I'll let you do it. How about that?
We're gonna move on.
Okay, so our next topic that we're going to talk about, our next resource is FlipGrid, actually. So we're very familiar with this. I know a lot of you have heard about it, and Ricardo's going to go ahead and get ready, get us in there. Okay.
Right. So we're not going to spend time talking about how to set it up and how to add topics and so on and so on. What we want you to see is what you can do with it. Okay. So again, I love it. Their model is empowering every voice. And I think out of the district, we discovered that FlipGrid is very powerful at doing that. And just to give you an idea, we have our Espanol IB class in here. I just wanted to show you that we have so many topics and so many responses. Our kids are using this to practice the language and to speak and to be able to communicate and express their ideas. Just wanted to show you that for our Spanish class, but not just Spanish. Look at over here, we have our Chinese 1 and Chinese 2 students over here too, using FlipGrid to introduce themselves and to be able to practice their speaking in here too. Not only in the world language classroom, but you can see it in here. I have it in Miss Adam, is that kindergarten or is that TK?
TK.
So think about it.
Yeah.
298 topics and responses from all of our kids using
Amazing.
the language. So you can see that it's a great, great tool. Let's go see and see how it will work from the point of view of a student. Okay, so I'm going to go to this particular topic over here, okay? Cómo nuestros árboles nos conectan. It doesn't matter what it is. I just wanted to show you how it works, okay? So I'm going to go to student view in here, and I want you to see how it's going to work. So our students will come in here when the teacher has set up the questions, they set up the assignment, they might have added videos, no reinforcing material, and so on and so on. And I come in here and I'm going to add a response. I'm ready to record. Our students will click. And again, the power of video, right? I know Teresa has mentioned this with Presenter Coach, and we mentioned it with Reading Progress, but here we are, right? So it's looking at me. A lot of times, just to give you options for our students, there might be a time where you might not want the camera. You might just want them to record their voice. And you could do that if you wanted to. And I can find different instances where that's what you might want to do. But we're going to turn that off because we do want to record. So again, notice the idea of being, in the correct position, right? Looking at the camera in here. I have the ability to mirror the video, to mute, to record my screen. So maybe that student is going to present and they're going to actually use their screen to be able to present what's on their screen. So you do have the ability to do that as a student. Okay, just wanted to mention that. You also have the ability to change the settings, but I wanted to show you some options in here. Okay, there's effects, and I don't know if you want me to go through all of this, Teresa. Just to give you an idea, I'll do a couple of them, just really easy. The media. So maybe today my student in my class is going to be practicing reflexive verbs, how to use reflexive verbs and how to speak Spanish with reflexive verbs to talk about their daily routine. So they have a picture in here, right? So they can have that in here if they wanted to. Something that is very powerful, and we don't talk a lot about it, is that the students always have the ability to have a sticky note. And I know we mentioned this in our session before, but our students can prepare their speech or what they're going to say, maybe write their key points or what they're going to be talking about, just to have it in front of them. You never see this as the teacher. It's just to support our students, so that's available there. But let's say that I was doing reflexive verbs. So I will come in here and I will go ahead and record. Por la mañana yo me levanto y me despierto muy temprano. Primero me lavo los dientes, después me baño o me ducho, me seco con la toalla. And that kind of gives you an idea that my students are learning how to use reflexive verbs to talk about their daily routines. And they have pictures of it here to give them an idea of what they want them to say. So they're practicing the language and they're using the language in context of what we're trying to do for that day. So I recorded something. In here, the students can come in here, and if they wanted to add a GIF, if they wanted to add frames, they could do that. So there's a lot of different things that they can do with FlipGrid. That's not the point of it today. I just wanted to make sure that you know that those are there. And this is just a way to engage the students, right, Teresa? They love the frames. They love adding GIFs and so on and so on. So I wanted to make sure that you know that it's there too, okay? They can add a backdrop if they want to, like I said, right? We just did that. They can blur the screen if they want to. They can share their screen if they want to. But I'm ready. I'm just going to go next. And again, the power of la mañana, yo me levanto y me despierto muy temprano. Primero me lavo los dientes. Después me baño o me ducho. Me seco con la toalla. So the power of being able to go back and review it, right? To make sure to, Teresa, everything okay?
I'm just thinking in my mind, like, what a show off. Spanish is all amazing.
To be able to go back, right? Maybe they want to add more to the recording. They could go in here. Maybe they're not happy with it and they can go back and just trash this and record again. But if they were happy with their presentation, they can just go next, right? They can add music. I didn't mention that. That's brand new, right? To add the music. Por la mañana, I don't want to hear myself again, but they're going to go next over here and they're going to just basically, if they had a link to the speech that they use, maybe they wrote it down before they were going to do it. They can submit that for you and they can go ahead and submit. In addition to using FlipGrid via the computer, our students do enjoy using it via the app on their phone. And let me show you that really quick as I go through it. Hopefully I should be able to move through it. Okay, let me go ahead and go back. Oh, my calendar. So let's go ahead and find
You're so busy.
our app in here. And then let's go ahead and go to FlipGrid. So our students can download the app for iOS or even Android, correct? And notice that I'm here as a teacher right now. So I'm seeing all of the basically the topics that I had before. But I wanted to show you what it looks like from a student's point of view. So let's go ahead and go in one of my topics in here. And we're gonna go in here, and it's a little slow today. Okay, so we are in here, and then let's go on the nuestros árboles, and let's say that I wanted to add a response in here. Okay, just wanted to show you that yes, our students have the ability to come in here and record their responses. A lot of our kids, if we're thinking about practicing, you can also make it fun though. A lot of our kids love to come in here and hit this little happy face because it allows them to do some interesting things that you might not have on the other notice. So so maybe I'm presenting about the weather, right, in Spanish, but the kids can actually come and use that. So I just want to make sure that you saw that you do have this ability, and we showed it before, but I wanted to make sure that you saw that the kids do have a blast when it comes to using the app because of the different tools that are available in here. Okay, so pretty incredible, and I wanted to make sure you knew. Okay.
When the kids are um, carried away with how much fun they're having, or they're super engaged with the topic that they're doing, sometimes they don't think about how they're speaking anymore. You kind of just stop thinking about it and just go with the flow, and sometimes you just need to get over it, right? So having fun tools like that, it just kind of helps, makes things easier, right? So thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that worked.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right because I've noticed that with my Spanish students, right? The moment you added those filters, it's like you put that wall, like I'm not there anymore, right? So they automatically feel more comfortable and they're able to just go ahead and record. Yes.
Right, like those shy ones who just, don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to look at their face, right? So absolutely great tools. Okay, so we are now going to talk about Adobe Spark, which is a super fun tool that students love to use because it's so easy. And so here I am in my Adobe Spark right now, and I'm going to just go to video because that's where we're going to focus on today. So you just start with creating one. So I'm just going to call this training for today. And then there are different templates that students can use. And I know this is a whole different session on how to create a video and how to present properly. But we are focusing on the speaking element here. So I'm just going to choose whatever. I'm just going to, teach a lesson. I'm just going to choose any template, or you could have started from scratch, which is fine. But what this does is it actually makes a template for you to follow along, and it kind of helps you out. But here we are at the bottom. So it gives me tells me to start with an overview and to go into my concepts, go to my example, to my explanation. It's just a template. Or if you start from scratch, there's nothing there. But anyways, so the part that we're focusing on today is to be able to record your voice, because that's a big part, of being able to improve your speaking skills, is to actually speak, record it, and then listen to yourself, or speak, record it, and have someone else listen so they can give you feedback. So obviously I'm just going to go to this other one that I was starting earlier. I just grabbed some random free pictures that we can put in here. And so if you want your students to, if you want them to pick a picture that you're talking about, and then just go ahead and click on the record. And then if you allow a microphone, then it just starts the recording. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. Oh, press and hold while speaking. That would help. Sorry, Ricardo. It's getting late. All right. So just checking right now. I am recording myself speaking, and later I'm going to listen to it and see how my pace is and how my tone is. And my teacher's going to give me feedback, etc., etc. So nice work. Great. And then I can play it and I can listen to it as a student, or I could submit it and my teacher can also listen to it. So again, that was really quick, but that's a great tool that students love to use, Adobe Spark. So in case you didn't know it did that, it does. So there it is. And Ricardo, is there something you wanted me to add there?
Something that specifically to our teachers at Hacienda La Puente, something that they might not know is that we have a great external tool integration. So if you wanted to have this done by your students in Adobe Spark, but submitted inside of Canvas as an assignment where you can grade it in SpeedGrader, it's amazing. So once you set up the assignment, the kids come in here, they do their video as Teresa was doing. And if Teresa goes to the share screen on top, where she goes, look, if you click there is a place where it says turn into Canvas. It will know if she clicks on that, it will actually know which classes Teresa is enrolled on. If you can actually do it now, Teresa, and it's actually going to show which class do you want to turn it into. Look at that. So our students could turn it in directly into Canvas.
I'm in a lot of classes. So that's amazing. And it can go directly. So before we'd have to download it to our computer, then upload it as a file into our LMS. And now it just goes directly. But if you didn't notice, you can also send it straight to Google Drive. So lots of options here. So it just makes it super easy. All right, awesome. So can I move on, Ricardo, to the
Yes.
next one? All right. So the next ones that we're going to go over really is just some tools that are already built into your computer, like different voice recording. So we went to Adobe Spark to talk about voice recording. And then another place you could also just record your voice, obviously, it's not even here, is using your phone, right? A lot of people just use their recorder on their phone. They record there and they listen. You also have a built-in recorder into your computer. Most of the time you do. So I'm just going to search for, let me see. So here's mine. I searched for voice record right there, and then I pulled it up, and I'm going to bring it over here. So it just looks like this. It's built into my computer. I didn't have to search online anywhere. I just typed in voice and it showed my voice recorder. And then I just simply click here and then I can start recording myself. Oh, here it is. So it's recording. And again, just like Adobe Spark, I'm giving my speech or I'm talking about whatever topic, and then I'm going to listen to it later. I'm going to submit it. So I can stop it there. And then I can always listen to that. You can see I have a lot of recordings here that I use to practice. And another tool that we also have used before, you've seen us use in another session, is actually our dictation tools, right? So you can actually practice speaking here and you could see if it's accurate or not because it's actually going to type it. So I can click on that and it's going to see if I am speaking clearly or am I not close enough to my microphone. I have to type to start. Sorry, didn't hear that. Check my microphone. Okay, anyways, I'm not going to redo that because I think we're running out of time, but you would simply click here and then make sure your microphone is actually working and it would type out what you're saying so you could see how accurate you are in your speaking if it types it out correctly. Is that where we're going with that, Ricardo?
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think we did cover some of these ones with a different purpose last week, but dictate and Word will do that too. I think even when we cover Padlet, if you remember, Teresa, the students had the ability to record themselves, whether it be a video or actually just a through the microphone through voice memo too.
Ricardo, now that you mentioned Padlet, I know we talked about that before. Can we do that? I just really want them to see how that looks
Yes, I
too.
think that's a great idea if you want to do
Okay,
that.
so Ricardo, go ahead and pull up a Padlet, and while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about Screencast-O-Matic. Is that fine?
Mm-hmm.
We're on the fly, people. Okay, so Ricardo's going to pull that up, but while he's doing that, I'm going to be talking about Screencast-O-Matic. So Screencast-O-Matic, I'm going to pull it up on my computer right here. So here's Screencast-O-Matic on my computer, but we'll talk about how that works with Canvas, which is our LMS for our district, but we're just going to talk about it in general. So Screencast-O-Matic is actually a free recording tool that you can use. I have the paid version here, but you can do it for free as well. It just has a little watermark of Screencast-O-Matic when you do it. So when you record, it shows you these amazing tools. You can record the screen. You could just do the webcam, which is just yourself here. I'm using the camera right now, so it's not letting me. But you could do both as well, so it gets the screen and you. But again, the important part is the speaking. So it's actually catching your narration. You record it, and then you can speak whatever you want. You want to explain something, and then you can play it for yourself, or you could submit it, just like all of our other tools that we went over today. Okay, so that was pretty quick and simple. Ricardo, are you ready with that? Oh, I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I did not want to interrupt you with my typing. I know you always get mad when I'm typing
I
and you're talking.
do.
So
Thank you.
I wanted to be mindful of
Considerate.
that.
How nice.
If you go to the private chat, you should have the Padlet link right there. Hopefully it lets you go to it if you click on it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and do that. All right. So here I am in. This is from one of our other sessions. It always makes me laugh. Okay. So here I am. Ricardo, you can see me, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to add right here. And I have different options here. I can actually take a picture. I can attach. I can insert an image. And there's so many. Oh, I'm still recording for my Screencastify. Hold on. Let me take that out. Sorry. Oh, here we go. So we have a video recorder right here. So I can click on that. Allow.
Amazing.
And here I am responding to this amazing prompt. And I'm going to speak clearly and slowly so I could show you how great of a speaker I am. Okay, that was great. So then I could discard it or I could play back and save. I'm just going to save it. No, I'm not. Can I just close it, Ricardo? Can we just take that as it is?
Sure,
Is
that's
that
what you
fine?
want. Sure.
I don't want to put it here because we have other people who come back into these and then they're going to wonder what this was. So I'm not
Yes.
going to actually save it.
Some
All right.
amazing
So
conversations going on here.
I
What's your
just really
favorite
wanted
ice
to,
cream?
yeah. I just wanted Ricardo to show that. I know we were about to skip it, but just imagine actually coming in here and having the kids telling all the kids, like, you know what, you have to do your video, and then they could respond to one another as a video, just like they would in FlipGrid. Just give feedback to one another, like, I really like that, but you could speak a little bit more clearly, or things like that. It's just it's amazing. I didn't want to miss out on it. Anyway, sorry, Ricardo. I forced
Oh,
you to do
perfect.
that. Okay, so now we're actually going to move on to our last piece. Is we're going to bring some of this into Canvas, because that is the LMS we use for our district, and maybe the LMS that you use also does this as well. So we're going to go into Canvas, and let me see if it's still here. Okay, so here I am in Canvas, and a lot of districts who have Canvas do have this tool on the left called Studio, and if you don't, you need it. It's so amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to Studio. And the great thing here is that we have the record option. And if you do a screen capture, it's actually just like Screencastomatic, like what I showed you, because in Studio, they actually have Screencastomatic. So it's exactly the same like what I showed you earlier. So I'm not going to show it to you again. But you also have the webcam capture right here. And so just like all of our other tools earlier, so easy. You just start recording. And then it records them speaking and it records them presenting whatever, and then they could save it, they could watch it again, they could turn it into you. And I think a great thing we wanted to show you is how students can actually go into assignments. So if they assign you something, if you assign them something, then they can go in. Did I miss something here, Ricardo, before I move on to the assignment?
Again, the ability to turn the webcam off if you wanted to and just have them record their voice. You could have that if you wanted to.
We're pretty much showing you the same things over and over, but just in different places. So just forgive us. I know it's kind of repetitive, but we just want to show you all different places where you can get it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to discard. All right, so here's an assignment that Ricardo had made for me in Canvas, and I'm a student right now. So obviously he's telling me to watch this amazing video up here. And down here,
Can we
I
watch
have
it?
no.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys don't know what we're laughing about right now. We're laughing because he put in my video so that I would mess up during this session, but it didn't work, Ricardo. Anyway, so I'm scrolling down to the bottom, and as a student, I would go to record, upload media, and it's exactly the same thing that I just showed you earlier. So as a student, I would just go here and I would start recording. So as a teacher, you can create an assignment where the student can just come in here and just record. So many different ways to get your students to practice their speaking skills. And it is really hard. I know we want them to speak to one another, we want them to speak to us, but it is really intimidating. Sometimes the students just need time to practice on their own. So these are great resources for them to practice on their own before they have to stand in front of the class or before they have to talk to you and their other colleagues, I guess their classmates, right? I'm going to stop that right now. So we hope you found those resources useful. I know it was a lot and there was a lot of repetition, but we just really wanted to show you all different ways for your students to be able to practice and improve on speaking, and not just students, anyone. Even for me, as right now I'm presenting to you, trust me, we practice and we rehearse so much. So all of these tools we've actually used before. So hopefully you find those useful. And Ricardo, am I missing anything today?
No, I think as you said it, though, we show you different tools that, again, they seem repetitive, but in the student's point of view, they're using a different tool. So it becomes another tool in your arsenal that you can use, right? So the kids will be like, oh, today we're going to use Adobe Spark. Today we're going to use Studio. Today we're going to use Presenter's Coach. So it kind of does change it for the students. So it's not repetitive.
Awesome. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. Next week, we hope to be on. We know it's a holiday, but if you could bear with us, we'll see. We will come on. We plan to do our inclusive classroom in math. So we're super excited to have a guest speaker on that day. And I know Ricardo wanted to mention something about math as well.
Yes. As you know, I'm not a math teacher, but we have discovered some tools in Microsoft Office 365 that are pretty incredible that will help support our students when it comes to math. So we are excited to show that next week.
Get ready to be amazed. So Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week, hopefully. And if not, then the week after that. So just stay tuned and we'll let you know. Okay. So
Bye-bye.
bye.